Viidiyoo yeroo darbee isiniif hojjetame keessatti bu'aa gaarii akka argattan komentii anaaf barreessitan irraa hubachuu danda'eera. Har'as immoo akkasuma isin qopheessaa waa irraa hubachuu dandeessu qaawwa qayyabannaa keessanii ittiin guuttachuu dandeessu kan jedheetti yaade. Viidiyoo kana keessatti gaaffii 28 barnoota ji'oogiraafii qabiyyee barnoota kutaa 10 oolli kaarikulamii keessaa qabadhee isiniif dhiyaadheera. Kutaan kun muuxannoon qabu irratti hundaa'e iddoowwan qormaata irratti deddeebi'anii dhufanii waan ta'eedhaaf sirriitti qayyabachuudhaan of qopheessuu akka qabdan gamanumaan isiniif dhaama። ባለፈ ጊዜ በለቀኩላችሁ ቪዲዮ ላይ ተንተርሳችሁ ብዙዎቻችሁ ተጠቃሚ እንደሆናችሁና ማስታወስ ያለባችሁን ሊያስታውሳችሁ የቻለ አይነት ቪዲዮ መሆኑን በኮመንት ውስጥ አስቀምጣችሁልኛል። ዛሬም ደግሞ በእንደዛው መልኩ ሊያዘጋጃችሁ ይችላል። ፈተና በየአመቱ ይወጣበታል ብዬ ልምድ እንዳለው መምህር ብዙ ጊዜ ፈተና የሚወጣባቸው አካባቢዎች ከሆኑት የአስረኛ ክፍል ኦልድ ካሪኩለም መጽሐፍ ይዘት 28 ጥያቄዎችን በዛሬ ቪዲዮ ውስጥ ይዤላችሁ ቀርቤያለሁኝ። ከጂኦ ለሰን 17 ቲዩብ ጋር በመሆን እንድታጠኑና ዝግጅታችሁን ወደ ማጠናቀቅ እንድታደርሱ ከወዲሁ ጋብዛችኋለሁኝ። አዲስ የመጣችሁ የጂኦ ለሰን 17 ቲዩብ አባላት ሚዲያችሁ ወደ ሆነ ለእናንተ ስኬት ወደሚተጋው ጂኦ ለሰን 17 ቲዩብ እንኳን በሰላም መጣችሁ። ሚሴንሶኒ ጂኦ ለሰን 17 ቲዩብ ሃራ ዱፍተን አናዱፉ በገነጋን ዱፍተኒ እጋ ሚዲያን ኬሰን ጂኦ ለሰን 17 ቲዩብን ሚልኮሚነ ኬሰኒ ዳፍ ካኖ ጀቻ ጅሩ ጪቼ ኢትፉፋ ከን ጅሩ ዋን ተዳፍ እስንስ ሚዲያ ከነ ጭነን አበቹዳን ጉዲና ሚዲያ ከናዳፍ ገሄ ቆደመታ ኬሰኒ አከባህተን ገመኑማን እስን አፌራ ከናፍስሞ ሼር ላይክ ኮመንት ፊ subscribe gochuu hin dagatinaan affeerraa ጂኦ ለሰን 17 ቲዩብ yeroo hundumaati. Choose the correct answer from the given alternatives. Question number 1. Of the following, which one is the major climate control shown by the difference in temperature between the coastal and the inland areas? A. Altitude. B. Latitude. C. Continentality. D. Ocean currents. Question number 2. Which factor primarily causes temperature to decrease with increasing elevation? A. Ocean currents. B. Wind direction. C. Altitude. D. Latitude. Question number 3. In equatorial region, rainfall is mainly caused by A. Orographic lifting. B. Convection. C. Frontal system. D. Trade winds. Question number 4. Which factor most influence the high rainfall around the intertropical convergence zone? A. Cold ocean currents. B. Descending air. C. Converging trade winds. D. Westerlies. Continentality is the major climatic control shown by the difference in temperature between the coastal areas and the inland areas. This means inland areas heat and cool more rapidly than coastal areas. Why? Due to the lack of moderating influence of ocean. This reflects the concept of continentality. A is not the answer because altitude affects temperature but is not the key factor in coastal and inland differences. Latitude affects solar energy received by the earth, but both coastal and inland may share similar latitudes. So, B is also not the answer. Ocean currents influence coastal temperatures, but the inland areas variation is better explained by the continentality. As a result, C. Continentality is the correct answer for question number 1. Altitude is the major factor that causes temperature to decrease with increasing elevation. This means higher altitude have thinner air which holds less heat, this causing temperature to drop with elevation. But ocean currents do not directly affect elevation. So, A is not the answer. Wind direction can influence weather, but not systematic elevation and temperature relationships. The latitude controls solar angle, but not the vertical rise of the temperature or drop of the temperature. As a result, again, C is the correct answer for question number 2. In equatorial region, there is high insolation of the sun that warms the environment and causes evapotranspiration, and the rainfall becomes dominantly found for nearly a year. So, the warming of the environment causes the evapotranspiration that leads humidity or precipitation. This is known as convection. So, equatorial heating causes air to rise, cool, and condenses. This is producing convective rainfall. Orographic lifting happens due to the mountains. Naannoo gaarreniittidha orographic kan jennu kan uumamu. Orographic የሚባለው የዝናብ አይነት በተራራማዎቹ አካባቢ እንጂ ኢኩዌቶሪያል አካባቢ ጋር አይገናኝም. Not prevalent to equatorial lowlands. Frontal systems are typical in temperate zone where the warmer and the colder wind are hitting each other at the point of front. So is not common in tropical areas or equatorial region. Trade wind brings moisture, but it did not cause rainfall directly. For this reason, B is the correct answer for question number 3. Converging trade winds are the factors mostly influencing the high rainfall around the internal tropical convergence zone. So, C is the correct answer. Basically, the ITCZ is a point where trade winds from the northern and the southern hemisphere meeting each other and causing rainfall. Cold currents reduce evapotranspiration and deficiency of rainfall may appear. Okay, the descending air is dry and suppresses rain. Westerlies affect mid latitudes, not the ITCZ. Reasonably, C is the correct answer. Question number 5. The primary reason why equatorial regions experience high temperatures year-round is A. High latitude, B. Vertical sun rays throughout the year, C. Cold ocean currents, D. Polar proximity. Question number 6. Which of the following decreases as altitude increases? A. Wind speed, B. Solar radiation, C. Temperature, D. Latitude. Question number 7. The rain shadow effect occurs when A. Wind blows from the sea to land, B. Moist air descends a mountain's leeward side, C. Land gets heated more quickly than water, D. Rain falls on flat lowlands. The vertical sun rays throughout the year is the primary cause for equatorial regions experiencing high temperatures throughout the year. Here, the sun's ray hit near the equator almost perpendicularly year-round and delivering more solar energies that leads to evapotranspiration. High altitude would reduce temperature, not increasing. So A is not the answer. Cold currents lower temperature, but warm currents dominate near the equator. So C is not the answer. Polar proximity applies to high latitudes, not to low areas of equator. So B is the correct answer for question number 5. As repeatedly discussed, when the altitude increases, temperature becomes decreases. So C is the correct answer. Wind speed may increases at higher levels. So A is not the answer. Solar radiation can increase with altitude, but temperature becomes decreases. Latitude is unrelated to elevation. The main shadow effect occurs when moist air descends at a mountain's leeward side. This means after rising and losing moisture on the windward side, air descends and dry on the leeward side. This creates arid conditions. A, C, and D are not the correct answer because wind blow can lead to rainfall, but not the shadow effects. The heating of land quickly than that of water bodies is describing about continentality, but D is not related to the formation of the shadow. So B is the correct answer for question number 7. Question number 8. The Mediterranean climate is mainly caused by A. Cold currents and high rainfall, B. Monsoon winds, C. Westerlies in winter and subtropical highs in summer, D. Cyclonic rainfall year-round. Okay, westerlies in winter and the subtropical highs in summer causes the Mediterranean climate. So C is the correct answer. Cold currents are present in Mediterranean, but not the main cause for this region. Monsoons affect South and Southeast Asia, not the Mediterranean region. Rain is seasonal and also not constant in the region. For this reason, A, B, D are not the correct answer. Question number 9. Which of the following climatic region is characterized by hot, wet summer and mid-dry winters? A. Tropical rainforest, B. Mediterranean region, C. Savanna, D. Tundra region. Question number 10. Which climatic region experiences permafrost and has vegetation such as mosses and lichens? A. Steppe, B. Desert, C. Tundra, D. Equatorial. Question number 11. A major characteristics of equatorial climate is A. Seasonal droughts, B. Large temperature ranges, C. High daily rainfall, D. Cold winters. Question number 12. Which of these regions is influenced mainly by cold ocean currents resulting in arid condition? A. Western coast of Southern America, Atacama, B. Eastern coast of Australia, C. Northwestern Europe, D. Central Africa. Savannah's climatic region is characterized by hot, wet summer and mid-dry winter. Savanna climates have a distinct wet and dry seasons with high summer temperature and rainfall due to the IT season. Tropical rainforest has rainfall year-round, so A is not the correct. Mediterranean region has dry summers and mid-wet winters. Tundra is cold year-round with little precipitation. So, C is the correct answer for question number 9. Tundra climatic region experiences the permafrost, coldest, and has vegetation such as mosses and lichens. C is the correct answer, but A, B, D are not. Why? In its nature, tundra climates are cold with permanently frozen subsoil and short-growing season vegetations. Steppe is semi-arid grassland. Desert is hot and dry with sparse vegetation, while equatorial regions are warm and wet dense forests. Due to this, A, B, D are not the answer. C is the correct answer for question number 10. Equatorial region is mainly characterized by having high daily rainfall. So, it receives conventional rainfall almost year-round due to the intense solar heating. But A, B, D are again not the answer. The reason: seasonal droughts are more typical of savanna. Equator has a small annual temperature range. And also, winters are not cold near the equator. As a result, C is the correct answer for question number 11. For question number 12, western coast of South America or Atacama is the region which is influenced by cold ocean currents, which is resulting in arid conditions. Cold currents like the Peru current cool the air, preventing rainfall and creating deserts. As a result, western coast of South America, including the Atacama Desert, is commonly influenced by the cold ocean currents. So the answer is A. But B, C, D are not the correct answer. The reason: warm currents bring rainfall, not resulting to cool the environment. Warm North Atlantic drift moderate Europe's climate, while Central Africa is near the equator and it is humid. For this reason, B, C, D are not the correct answer. Question number 13. Which of the following is the main cause of current rainy season in Ethiopia? A. Southwesterly monsoon wind. B. Northeasterly trade winds. C. Westerlies. D. Sea breeze. Question number 14. The Baga season in Ethiopia is best described as A. A rainy season in southern Ethiopia. B. A hot, humid period in central Ethiopia. C. A dry season dominated by northeasterly trade winds. D. A season of heavy rainfall caused by cyclones. Question number 15. Which part of Ethiopia receives rainfall from both the bulk and the tzadai season? A. Western highland. B. Southeastern lowland. C. Afar triangle. D. Northeastern highlands. Question number 16. Which of the following statement is true about the intertropical convergence zone? A. It brings dry winds to Ethiopia during Baga. B. It remains stationary over Ethiopia throughout the year. C. It causes rainfall when it moves northward over Ethiopia. D. It originates in the Mediterranean Sea. During summer, ITCZ intertropical convergence zone shifts to the northern hemisphere. It pulls moist southwesterly winds from Atlantic Ocean by the Congo Basin. B is not the answer because northeasterly trade winds dominate in winter and also are dry. Westerlies affect mid-latitude regions, not the equatorial Ethiopia. And D is also not the answer because sea breeze is a local phenomenon, not a seasonal or countrywide. So, southwesterly monsoon wind is the main cause of current rainy season in Ethiopia. A is the correct answer. For question number 14, a dry season which is dominated by northeasterly trade wind is the main characteristics of Baga season in Ethiopia. Baga or winter season in Ethiopia includes October to February, which is dry in most parts of Ethiopia due to the influence of cool, dry northeasterly winds. A is not the answer because southern Ethiopia gets rains during bulk and tzadai, not Baga. Central Ethiopia is cooler during Baga, and also B is not the answer. Cyclones do not typically influence Ethiopia's climate. So, C is the correct answer for question number 14. Southwestern lowlands, like areas of Moyale, are a part of Ethiopia which receives rainfall from both bulk season and tzadai season because These areas get rainfall during the transitional period, which means March to May and September to November, when the ITCZ passes twice on the region. A is not the answer. Why? Western Highlands receive most of their rain in Kramt or summer, while Afar remains dry most of the year. So C is also not the answer. Why D is not the answer is because northeastern highlands experience mostly summer rainfall. B is the correct answer for question 15. ITCZ causes rainfall when it moves northward over Ethiopia. ITCZ's northward shift during summer. This draws moist air from the south and bringing rain. This causes rainfall when it moves northwards over Ethiopia. A is not the answer. The reason ITCZ brings moist air, not dry one. It shifts seasonally between north hemisphere and the south hemisphere. And also, ITCZ is an equatorial feature, not the Mediterranean region's characteristics. So, C is again the correct answer for question number 16. Question number 17. Which part of Ethiopia receives the highest amount of annual rainfall? A. Afar Depression. B. Western Highlands. C. Ogaden Region. D. Eastern Escarpment. Question number 18. What climate factor is primarily responsible for the dryness of northeastern lowlands? A. Orographic lifting. B. Westerly winds. C. Rain shadow effect. D. Conventional rainfall. Question number 19. Why does the southeastern part of Ethiopia receive rainfall during bulk and tzadai season? A. Due to the influence of Mediterranean climate. B. Due to the moisture from the Indian Ocean. C. Due to the presence of high pressure zones. D. Due to the proximity to Lake Tana. Question number 20. Which of the following region is characterized by high rainfall variability? A. Central Highland. B. Northern Lowland. C. Southern Lowland. D. Western Plateau. Western part of Ethiopia, including Bonga, Mizantepi, Maji, Jimma, Wallagga, some parts of Sidama are known with having more than 2000 millimeters of rainfall annually due to the moist southwesterly winds. Afar is extremely arid with less than 100 millimeters of rainfall, so is not the correct answer. Ogaden is semi-arid with less than 400 millimeters. Again, C is not the answer. Eastern escarpment gets moderate but not the highest rainfall. Due to this, D is also not the answer. Reasonably, B is the correct answer. Rain shadow effect is the major factor that is responsible for the dryness of the northeastern lowlands. Rain shadow effect means moist winds lose most of their moisture over the highlands and leaving the leeward side. Example, Afar is dry. Orographic causes rainfall, not dryness in mountain areas. Westerly wind did not dominate in Ethiopia, while conventional rainfall is more common in equatorial zones with rising of moist air. So, C is the correct answer for question number 18. Why? The southeastern part of Ethiopia receives rainfall during bulk and tzadai season is due to the moisture from the Indian Ocean. When the ITCZ passes over the area during spring and autumn, it draws moisture on southwesterly winds from the Indian Ocean. B is the answer for question number 19. But A, C, and D are not the answer. Why? Mediterranean climate affects the northwestern highlands, and high pressure system inhibits rainfall. And also, Lake Tana is primarily influences rainfall in northwest. For question number 20, southeastern lowlands are characterized by high rainfall variability because the rainfall is influenced in this region by the shifting of ITCZ and exhibits high variability in amount and time. Central highlands have more predictable rainfall patterns, so A is not the answer. Northern lowlands are dry and consistently dry, so as well as Western Plateau has high and regular rainfall. So A, B, D are not the correct answer. As a result, C is the correct answer for question number 20. Question number 21. What is the main type of rainfall experienced in the Ethiopian highlands during summer season? A. Cyclonic rainfall. B. Orographic rainfall. C. Frontal rainfall. D. Conventional rainfall. Question number 22. Which of the following is not a major source of moisture for rainfall in Ethiopia? A. Red Sea. B. Indian Ocean. C. Atlantic Ocean. D. Mediterranean Sea. Question number 22. What factor most significantly contribute to conventional rainfall in Ethiopia? A. Mountain barriers. B. Intense surface heating. C. Cold air masses. D. Dry winds. Question number 24. Which season in Ethiopia is most associated with conventional rainfall? A. Baga. B. Kramt. C. Balg. D. Kramt and Baga. Remember, students, don't forget. Orographic rainfall is a rainfall which predominates in mountainous in areas of high elevation. This means as moist southwesterly winds hit the Ethiopian highlands, rise, cool, and condense, this resulting orographic rainfall. Cyclonic rainfall is associated with mid-latitude depression, so it is rare in Ethiopia. Frontal rainfall is caused by cold-warm front interactions, where the warm and the coldest winds are hitting each other at the point of front. Is also uncommon here in mountainous area. Conventional rainfall occurs but is more predominant in tropical or humidity areas. B is the correct answer. Okay. Indian Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, and the Mediterranean Sea are the major source of moisture for rainfall in Ethiopia. But Red Sea is not the major source of moisture for Ethiopian rainfall. Why? The Red Sea provides very limited moisture compared to the Indian Ocean in east, Atlantic Ocean in southwest, and the Mediterranean Sea in north. Indian Ocean brings southeasterly moisture, especially during bulk. The source of southwesterly monsoon wind during Kramt is Atlantic Ocean, while Mediterranean Sea influences northern parts during the minor rains. So, A is the correct answer. Intense surface heating is the most significantly contribute to the conventional rainfall in Ethiopia. So, B is the correct answer for question number 23. Bulg is the season in Ethiopia which is most associated with conventional type of rainfall. The season of bulg includes months of February to May, which is associated with rising temperatures and surface heating. this favoring conventional rainfall. Baga is dry. Kramt is dominated more by orographic rains, and Baga lacks enough heat and moisture. So, C is the correct answer for question number 24. Question number 25. Which climatic zone in Ethiopia lies at an altitude of over 2,300 meters and experiences cold temperatures year-round? A. Wurch, B. Daga, C. Kolla, D. Wena Daga. Question number 26. Which zone is most suitable for coffee and insect cultivation in Ethiopia? A. Wurch, B. Kolla, C. Wena Daga, D. Daga. Question number 27. Which of the following zone is characterized by hot temperatures and low erratic rainfall? A. Daga, B. Wena Daga, C. Kolla, D. Wurch. Question number 28. What is the main climatic classification criteria used to define zones like Wurch, Daga, Wena Daga, and Kolla in Ethiopia? A. Latitude and distance from the sea. B. Rainfall amount only. C. Wind direction. D. Altitude and associated temperature. Which is in Ethiopia lies at an altitude of more than 3,200 meters and experiencing cold temperatures year-round. So, A is the correct answer. Daga is cooler but lies between 2,300 up to 3,200 meters. And Kolla is a hot lowland which is found below 1,500 meters. And also D is not the answer because Wena Daga is a temperate which is commonly found between 1,500 up to 2,300 meters. So A is the correct answer. Wena Daga is a zone which is most suitable for coffee and insect cultivation in Ethiopia. Why? Because Wena Daga has moderate temperatures and adequate rainfall that making it ideal for crops like coffee and insects. Which is too cold, so not favorable for insect production. Kolla is too hot and dry, as well as D is not the answer. Daga is cooler and better for barley and wheat than coffee and insects. So C is the correct answer for question number 26. Kolla is a zone which is characterized by hot temperatures, low and erratic rainfall. Kolla is a lowland which is distinctively found at less than 1,500 meters that are hot and dry, typical of arid and semi-arid climates, while Daga is cool and wetter. Wena Daga is moderate and more fertile, while Wurch is cold and has more consistent rainfall. So, C is the correct answer for question number 27. Altitude and associated temperatures are the main climatic classification criteria used to define zones into Wurch, Daga, Wena Daga, and Kolla, and also known as generally Ethiopian agroclimatic zone. In order to classify Ethiopian agroclimatic zones, altitude and associated temperature are the main criteria. So D is the correct answer.
Chaanalii keessan Geolesson 17 Tube waan daawwattaniif galatooma. Geolesson 17 Tube chaanaalachuun sila gobanyaachuu አመሰግናለሁ. Geolesson 17 Tube chaanaalii milkoomina egeree dhalootaaf dhimmu.